The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
As you know, I'm such a lovely person that if someone goes to the trouble of making a TV show, generally I'll watch it.
You put your body on the line.
And
It's the least I could do.
I got a message from our old mate Greer saying, get Nathan onto this show. It's right up his alley.
And Greer, FYI, I'd already
He was already
watched
onto
it.
it.
It's a docuseries called Mer People.
Mer people. Okay.
People,
A documentary.
So about
Documentary.
male and female
Mermaids. So these are about people that that live as mermaids, not like for jobs, you know.
Yeah. But it is
So
the
they're
dream,
professional
isn't it?
mermaids.
Professional mermaids. And
But it kind of crosses over into their private life a bit, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Follow some of the mermaids and the struggles. You feel really sorry for some of them. Some of them, the
Well, they're half
saddest
fish.
people that
It's
exist.
difficult.
And
to walk on land.
well, it's a really hard thing because see how big America is if you want to be a professional full-time working mermaid, right? So that's your job. There is only 3 places in the whole of America you can do it. One of them's an aquarium.
Of course there is. Yeah, where's the other?
I mean,
The
like,
other one's this guy that set up his own. He's been wanting to. So he bought a warehouse.
Yeah.
So it looks like something in Osborne Park. He's put a big fish tank in.
and so what people pay to go in and look at the mermaids.
And there's another place. It's like I can't remember the name, but it's this cove. It's a natural cove that they've sort of set up, and it's been set up since the 50s or the 40s. And you can go and you watch the women swimming there. So they used to be called mermaids back in the day, but they didn't have tails, and now they've all got tails.
Yeah, right.
So that's the other place. So everyone really wants to work at these.
Do you remember how big Daryl Hannah's movie was?
Yes.
Splash?
Splash
It's a
was
great
huge.
movie.
Oh my
Great movie.
I
Also,
wanna
like,
be a merman.
we have them here every year for Fringe.
Yeah, we
There's a
do.
tank of mermaids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean,
Yeah.
what are you looking at me like that
Oh,
for?
I
Have you
didn't
never
know
seen
that.
them?
Oh,
yeah, every
Jesus.
year.
That'll be
Every year they come.
That's a reason to get me along.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've got this show is so I love looking into different people's worlds because this is
Yes.
so weird. They've even got their own language, Sean.
Okay,
So here
of
we
course.
go. So if something's amazing, it's mermazing.
Okay, that makes
If
sense.
something's fantastic, it's fantastic.
I don't know that they've got their own language.
If they think something's really flashy, it's splashy. If you want to say hello to someone, can you guess?
Mellow.
Shallow.
Oh, shallow.
If you want to say totally, what do you do? Turtley. If you want to say definitely, what do you say?
Dolphinately.
And if you want to say for sure, you can say for sure.
Which is catchier than Fisher.
Anyway, I was like, okay, so I'd read about this series and went, okay, what's this going to be
is for
like?
me.
Anyway, and I didn't know, so I put it on, and like within the first, I think, minute, it had captured me because
Yeah.
you can imagine this, right? So there's an underwater performance happening, so it's one of those underground tank, you know, the people are underground, they can see the tank, like
Yeah.
Yes,
Aqua
that's,
or whatever.
and that's the way they do
That's the way
it
they
at
do it.
Fringe. So it's a tank that protrudes above
Yeah.
the thing, but
You
there's
see the
windows
glass.
in it. Yeah.
So it's a huge pool sort of thing, you
Okay.
know, and there's all like, you know, reef and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff, and there's kids watching in amazement, there's beautiful music coming and stuff like that, and then you see the mermaids come up and what's happening up above the water where the crowd doesn't see, and somebody had put too much chlorine in the pool.
Oh, this was my childhood doing swimming lessons at the Esperance swimming pool.
So here we go.
Oh my God. Chase down the pool guy. Make sure you didn't put too much chlorine in the pool. Open. Force your eye. Open more. How do we find an eye wash station?
You really put your body on the line if you're a mermaid.
It's so funny. So all these kids are having a magical time, and us there's and up above
They're
ground.
screaming
They're
in pain.
screaming in pain because their eyes are being burnt by the chemicals of chlorine.
All the kids, everyone knows they've been through this at time. But can I say, yesterday I was having a swim at Claremont Pools, and this lady was teaching a group of other people what they would do when they're coaching little kids. And
Yes.
she was talking about the chlorine came up because none of them were wearing goggles, and she says it's the wee in the water that burns your eyes, not the chlorine.
No.
That's what she said, mate.
No,
100%.
she's a liar.
It's true as I'm riding this skateboard.
Do you want me to get you some chlorine, chuck it in your eyes,
Yes,
and tell me
there
if
you go.
and then I'll get some wee? Let's have a look.
When I was
Harry,
a
can
kid,
you Google that,
the
please?
Esperance swimming pool was the first indoor heated pool in
It
the
was.
state.
I
It was
used to
the
go
only
there.
one
Yeah.
because it was so cold. And a cloud of chlorine hung in the
Yes.
hung
Oh,
in the
yeah,
air.
yeah,
You
yeah.
couldn't see clearly from one
Heated
side
up
to the
chlorine
other.
is a bad idea. As soon as you
And-
walked in there, it stung your eyes.
Yeah, it did. And so you do 2 weeks of swimming lessons, your bathers would literally rot away.
Totally
There'd
get
be
it,
nothing
totally
left
get
by
it.
the end of it.
Harry,
What are
you found
doing
something.
with that?
Sean, you're onto something here. Peeing in a pool depletes chlorine and actually produces an irritant that makes people's eyes turn
Come
red.
on!
Are you kidding me? Come on. That is ridiculous because that happens to everybody. You can't tell me every pool is just a thing of piss.
By that,
Just the mermaid tank, mate.
probably chlorine does the same thing though, so you can't tell the difference. But so if the chlorine is too bad, then you pee because that depletes the chlorine.
Well, either way,
But
your
then
eyes
it
are
still
cooked, and I know
stings.
that. And we've all been through it because you know that.
Goggles.
Oh, my
Goggles.
God.
Well, I want to talk about what these mermaids have gone through with their cooking eyes. It's terrible. Like when you have a run-in with chemicals. We don't know about chemicals. We learned the periodic table.
I
We
did
saw it in
chemistry,
high
but
school.
hated every minute of it.
Yeah, we don't know what chemical's going to do. You don't know how it's going to react with you.
We're not necessarily talking about your eyes. It could be chemicals of any sort.
Anything.
What happens?
Yeah, we want to talk about your run-ins with chemicals. We're going to give somebody $300 to spend at B Store.
Generous.
We love B Store. Experience the shoes that you love and that will love you back at bstore.com.au.
That's what you want out of your shoes. All right. Did you ever run in with chemicals? Hit us up.
Hey, Sam.
Hi guys, how you going?
Good,
Wonderful, Sam.
All right. What happened, Sam?
I used to play a lot of water polo as a teenager.
Yep.
And when we'd go away to competitions and stuff, we'd have so much chlorine in our eyes from the pool. When we get back to the hotel, we would steal the little coffee milk cartons.
Yes.
Fill our goggles with the milk, and then we'd all sit in the room and put our goggles on and just hang
Did
out.
that help? Did that do
Hang
it?
out with milk in your
So
goggles.
with UHT milk, essentially, in your goggles.
Yeah, pretty much full cream milk, all the calcium you can get. Just sit back and enjoy.
So you've got that in your goggles and you're just sitting there talking to each other with milky
Yeah, and
goggles on.
there's about 13 of us all in a room, and if anyone walks in, they're just going to walk in and find a whole bunch of boys sitting there
Yeah,
with goggles
and then
on.
they just walk out again and never
It's
mention
a
it.
weird. That'd be a
Well,
great
'cause,
photo.
these mer people, I'm sure you've come across them in your water polo careers now.
I think they'd have an advantage.
So
wouldn't you?
every time they get out...
Seeing a
We've
picture at the moment.
Googled it, and it's a guy with cereal and milk in his goggles.
so every
Well, I
time...
thought Nutrigrain would be a good move.
Yeah, that's right. So
Every time these people would get out of the pool, they would be putting drops and stuff in their
Yes.
eyes because they said nose and ear infections were rife. Did you have a lot of ear and nose infections, Sam, during your water polo days?
A fair bit of ear infections. I don't want to think about it too much because the more you think about it, the grosser it gets.
Yeah.
But, yeah, fair ear infections, but it was really the milk in the eyes that made life easier.
Sam, you must have played at Melville, living close to there. But did you travel overseas?
Yeah, we did travel overseas a fair bit. Went into Europe and Croatia and whatnot.
So he
Water
played.
polo,
So he didn't
yeah.
just play. He played.
He's a good player.
He
Yeah,
played.
you're a good player.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam. Rebecca, hello.
Hey.
Hi, Beck.
Beck. Okay, what happened between you and the chemicals?
Oh, I was a professional cleaner, and I used to do the jobs that no one else would do, the really bad jobs. So I had pretty good cleans.
Yeah.
And ones that didn't require scrubbing. So I sprayed the shower, and then I thought, oh, yeah, well, I'll just get a Domestos, which is like a really thick bleach, and I'll do the grout on the bottom because that gets that white really, really, really well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And turns out mixing both of those together, oh, boy.
What happened?
Couldn't breathe. I ended up with burns to the back of my throat, burns to my lungs,
Beck.
Lungs.
and my skin was really, really tender. I had to leave the house, go to Bunnings and buy the really good mask because I couldn't get in there to get rid of the chemicals so I could go back into the room.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to wear full masks and stuff to be able to even go back into the room, to hose it all off
Oh, God.
to be able to get back into the room. That I have never experienced a burn or a smell like that before ever. So, yeah.
a chemical
learned the hard
burn
way.
on the lungs, what's that like?
Oh, you can't breathe for a while, and there's not much they can do for you in the sense
Yeah.
of you can't put drops in there.
fresh air.
You can't.
Oh, lung drops. I've never
Pretty
heard of
much.
lung drops,
No.
you're right.
Because it's your esophagus is
Wouldn't
burnt,
work,
isn't it?
wouldn't work well.
Lung drops.
No, so
you-
you just have
Mylanta?
to give it time.
No, Sean. You
My lanta.
want to put Mylanta into your lungs?
I don't know. Makes it smooth, doesn't it?
We spoke to somebody early this morning who had their finger stomped off by a horse and
Yes.
their dad put a Band-Aid on there. Did
Yes.
you try that? Swallowing a Band-Aid?
Thanks, Rebecca. Kim's in Port Kennedy. She's going to bring us home. Hi, Kim.
Hiya, how are you?
Good, Kim.
Chemical misadventures. What happened?
Oh, when I first started doing water aerobics, I was getting used to the smell of the chlorine and everything, and afterwards I'd do my class and then I'd reward myself by going in the spa for a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, that was my reward. So,
Living the life, aren't you, Kim? She's
I know,
living.
I know.
Worked out so hard.
Just
Straight
too
to the
much.
spa.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was in the spa and everything, in there for a little while. I hopped out and everyone was like staring, and I'm like, what? You know, has something happened or whatever?
Look at my water aerobics body. Yes.
I am slamming.
No, it wasn't that, unfortunately. And, all my bathers were transparent.
Yes.
They must have reacted to the constant chlorine.
Yes.
And everyone was just like... So now when I say... now I look for the Speedos that are chlorine resistant.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
These
Instead of wearing Glad wrap.
Kmart.
So everyone can see your mini there, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. You're just like in the nude.
Yeah.
Basically.
And it was just like, oh, my God, because the sauna and the steam room were
You put
near there as well.
You put those bathers through some stuff, didn't you?
Was the towel nearby that you could cover up with, or did you have to walk a little
chamois?
I think I had to walk a little bit, walk of shame.
Yeah, so what do you do? Do you strut? Do you run? Like, what do you do?
I ran.
That's the only answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Grab it over.
But then you're getting more people. Yeah, then you're getting more
Drawing
eyes on
more
you because
attention to you
yeah.
because there's somebody suddenly
And Sean,
running.
you know what? How polite were you then? Could people see your mini? Isn't that nice?
He's really evolving as a human being.
Thanks, team.
Nice.
Great callers all round.
Yeah, I know, right? Everybody in the running for Nova's 10K a day in May.
Gov's just walked in. He's got a smile on his face. $300 to spend at the B Store. Experience shoes that love you back at bstore.com.au. Going to give it to Sam with the milk goggles because that was very
That's a great image,
interesting,
wasn't it?
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
So Dolly Parton, bloody the woman that just died.
Tina
Turner's friend.
Tina Turner.
Dolly, they were friends.
So
Dolly.
sorry. I was reading an article about her quickly. I just want to tell you about this. So the house that she bought, right,
Yes.
that she's been living in
Switzerland?
in Switzerland, that's overlooking Lake Zurich. They got it in, I think, September 2021. They paid $116 million for it. It's a 10-building waterfront mansion,
That seems a lot.
which they used as a weekend retreat.
How many
So she did
million,
all right for
please?
herself.
They
That's what
bought,
you're
and for a
saying.
weekend retreat, she had a $116 million lakeside 10-bedroom mansion. For a weekend
So
retreat.
clearly she moved to Switzerland to be close to her bank accounts. Is that what's going on there?
That is
That's amazing.
Isn't it amazing? There's all
But if
these
you can
things
get it.
coming out about Tina Turner right now. Another thing is Nutbush City Limits.
Yeah.
So we all know that song. We all know that there's a dance to that
Yeah.
song. That dance only occurs in Australia, and no one knows why. They think it was started as a school curriculum or a teacher started
A teacher pumped it up. It looks
no
like
one knows
teacher
for
choreography.
sure. Yeah, but
Do you know
no
what
one.
I mean?
Well, it's line dancing.
But everybody
choreography.
knows it.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
But
Only in Australia.
and in America, they blows their mind that
Yeah.
we do this. And line dancing as well. It's like line dancing in a Tina Turner song.
Yeah.
Makes
What are
no
we
sense.
doing?
Makes
Yeah.
no sense.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
This is pretty full on, right? So, when's the last time you've been on a ride at a show?
I think the last time I was on a ride was when we did the Abyss at Adventure World
Yeah, I
together.
think so too.
Yeah.
me too.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we've had that age now where rides affect us badly.
That is so true.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere and it gets you, and suddenly you're throwing up, and you just
Oh,
feel
yeah, you don't
superhuman.
like that and you get dizzy.
Sure, I'm scared of them anyway.
This was in Queensland. They've got a mega drop there. This is one of those ones. It's, you can hear it and then it goes right up tall. It's like a tall tower.
It goes
and
up
then,
really slowly
and
and then
it
just
falls down.
Yeah, I don't like those ones, no.
You don't like any of them. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay, that one too.
12-year-old girl named Holly. She was on there with a friend. Anyway, it sort of got stuck, this thing. And then the ride operator was trying to get a safety harness. The safety harness, he couldn't get hold of that. Long story short, the thing was going to keep going up.
Oh, no, thank you.
Right? So in order to, save the two girls, they're 12-year-old girls, he's decided to tell them that it's best that they jump from the ride.
What height was it at this point?
6 metres.
6 metres is pretty high.
Yeah.
Do they get out that trampoline-looking thing or possibly a sheet?
No.
Catch them in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that sheet thing ever worked
get 'em up
for a baby?
Well,
Can you
for
throw
a
an
baby it
umbrella
would
up
work, yeah.
high enough so that they can just hold
Mary
on?
Mary
Poppins
Poppins
it
it down. Or they did that as well on Practical Magic.
Oh,
Remember at the end when
Remember,
Sandra,
he's saying remember
when
like Sean
Sandra
watched
and
it.
Nicole jumped off when everyone in the town accepted witches. And then they all jumped off and then they all floated down. Everyone was like,
cannot believe I haven't seen it.
It's a documentary.
Thank you for bringing that up.
you should watch it. It's really good. So the mum said that the girls knew that either they're going to have to jump and maybe break a few bones or go up and die.
Yeah, I mean, as it
it's an easy
continues to go
decision.
up, it's a bigger jump. isn't
Actually,
it?
it's not an easy decision because you don't want to jump.
No.
You can't. No matter if you're trying to save your life or not, it's still very difficult to jump.
So Holly says, so I was like, you know what? Breaking bones is better than losing my life, so I jumped.
Holly, that's a big decision for a 12-year-old to have to make, by the
break
way.
her ankle. Yeah. Full on. When you have to jump. You don't want to jump. Having to jump.
Yes, it happens to my brother. So he had a choice to make. So he was putting up a windmill on the farm.
Yeah.
And Esperant's very windy.
Yes.
And so he was at the top of the windmill and the windmill started falling over because it was not yet fastened into the ground and it was a very windy day. So the windmill started tipping over and his choices were to land in the empty concrete tank
Okay.
or to jump clear.
Yes. And?
He jumped and smashed his ankle to smithereens. Basically, he landed and his ankle exploded because he landed onto baked hard clay, essentially.
Yeah.
And so, then he had to be flown in the flying doctor to Kalgoorlie, where Dr. Donald Duck
There you go.
operated and he still has a
Let's try the
permanent limp
Bill.
because of it. So,
And he's
it affected him very badly.
Yes, Harry.
That is epic.
Harry, two of the doctors at the same time in Kalgoorlie was Dr. Donald Duck and Dr. Butcher.
So you choose. Which one would you choose?
Duck. I'll take Duck.
Okay, Dr. Donald Duck. He doesn't wear pants, but he's a bit gentler.
One time when I was leaving year 12, I know we've got a story, but 13, 20, 14, if you're going to get involved, because we are talking about when you had to jump, but one of the kids at the end of, school muck-up day, it was the night before, the last day of school, and he's cutting up on the top oval at my school at Corpus Christi in his mum's car. And anyway, it was a bit of dew on the grass, so he started sliding out of control. And this car, I think it was a Skyline, was coming towards me at a rate of knots. And all I could do is jump for my life onto the tennis court bloody net.
And cling to
And cling onto it. And not only that, I screamed like a girl, like a full-on, like...
Like when you're on a roller coaster.
This thing
Can I say, there is nothing funnier than a guy screaming like a girl. It's so funny.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
All right, so we are talking about when you had to jump. It doesn't have to result in an injury. You just need to tell us why you were forced to jump. We're going to give somebody $150 to spend at Autobahn Mechanical. Autobahn Mechanical, putting the service back into service centres. You can Google Autobahn today. Hi, Leanne.
How you going?
Yeah,
Good, Leanne.
Leanne, what happened?
I was doing out with my girlfriend in Kambouta. We were at her stable.
Yes.
Just out of Kalgoorlie, Nathan.
Yeah, mate.
And she was doing gymkhana work, and she said, jump on the back of the horse and I'll give you a dinky back. Well, as she went to get on, the horse started bucking, and I thought, well, I'm not staying on this horse, so I decided to jump off.
Yeah.
But as I jumped off, because the horse was shoed, she trot on my hand and chopped one of my fingers off.
Oh, God, Leanne.
And I didn't even know. I've stood up and I've started jumping down. My girlfriend, she couldn't help me because the horse bolted because something scared her.
Yeah.
She's actually bolted down out of the bush, and I'm standing there with no finger, blood all over me, and we were way, way, way from the stables. So yeah, and I finally got back to the stables, told her father that the horse had chopped my finger off, and he went to get a Band-Aid.
So I take it they weren't able to reattach the finger.
No, the crow's got it, unfortunately.
Leanne, did you see the finger detached? Did you see it on the ground at any stage, or you didn't know where it was?
I didn't know where it was, but then I seen a crow actually come behind, scoop it and take it.
Hey,
I would have thought it'd be vultures.
which finger was it? Which finger was it?
It's my middle one on my right hand.
Oh, your middle finger.
Right hand, so you can't flip the bird at anyone anymore.
Yeah, but you're doing this all the time to people, aren't you? Like having
Rock on.
Rock on.
Oh,
Wow.
Leanne, that had everything.
That did have everything. Well-fed crows included. Thank you, Leanne. Jamie's in South Guildford. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Jamie. We're talking about when you had to jump. What happened?
Well, it was my sister, my little sister. When we were young, we used to go up to Molleran, which is called my auntie and uncle had a farm, big farm up there. So we used to go up there under school holidays. So what we used to do, get up to Mission, you'd jump in the back of the van and drive around with your cousins that are all of 8 years of age.
Yep.
So what we did with my little sister, we threw her into the pig pen. So they had so many pigs. And we threw her in there just for fun.
Yeah,
and then we got all the food. You know what pigs are like when it comes to food.
Yeah.
So we threw the mushy food in the pig pen. They were charging at my little sister like, oh my God. So then we panicked. We couldn't get the gate open.
Yeah.
So we said, jump. So she jumped, and luckily she was little, but she was fit.
Yeah.
Ripped her leg from top to bottom, and of course we then had to go home, and we all made up stories. But of course, then we were reprimanded, and we were never allowed out again. So my sister still remembers this. Today we were talking about it. So yeah, so the pigs were. It was either her or jumped the scaling fence. And we still, to this day, don't know how she scaled the fence, but she did.
Can I say, do we live in a society nowadays where you can, like, torment your brother or sister by chucking them in a pig pan?
And this is why none of the kids have got resilience anymore. Don't you reckon?
I do. Sean, I was like dangled down mine shafts.
Yep.
I was like, taken to the port and repeatedly drowned.
Jamie's sister might have resilience, but she's also got PTSD. She can't eat bacon. Her life is very badly impacted.
That's so funny,
Thanks, Jamie. Beck's in Rockingham. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Great, Beck. Did you have to jump?
So we're driving along a road. My husband's petrified of spiders, and a great dirty big huntsman came out the air vent on his side. So he didn't know what to do, obviously, freaked out, just sort of veered to the side of the road and literally jumped out of the car.
While it was still going?
Still moving. Yeah, it was still moving. Like, he managed to slow down, but he, jumped out, had to quickly put it in park and put it in brake. Him and my sister jumped out, and I'm in there trying to get rid of this huntsman, and we sat on the side of the road for like an hour because they couldn't find where the huntsman went, but they wouldn't go back in the car.
Hey, Beck, so let me get this straight. So the huntsman's come out of the vent, and that's terrifying for anyone, even if you aren't
it's just a surprise.
It's like, oh my God, I get it. So he's veered the car off the side of the road. The car's still going. Him and your sister have jumped out, and they've left you in a rolling car with a giant spider.
Yeah.
That's a real partnership. You know what it is? You're
on your own.
You're not acting. You're not being fancy. You're not telling them. You're not
everyone
wooing
for
them.
themselves.
It's like you're going to die.
Oh, thanks, Beck.
That's great,
Everyone we spoke to is in the running for Nova's 10K a day in May. Could be like Anthea from City Beach, who scored 10K yesterday.
And you all deserve it, by the way. $150 to spend at Autobarn Mechanical's going to go to Leanne, who kicked us off losing the finger. The Crows got it. Had it all, actually.
Yeah, that story did have a lot.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.